Chosen one, pause right here. Don't scroll. Don't rush. Don't let your mind wander for even a moment, because what you are feeling right now is not coincidence. Something in your spirit reacted the second your eyes landed on this message. Something deep inside. You whispered, "Pay attention." And that is because heaven has been waiting for the exact moment when you would slow down, long enough for God to speak directly. You think you just stumbled onto this video, but the truth is, you were guided here, tugged here, pulled here by a presence that has been walking beside you long before you ever realized you weren't walking alone. You have been carrying so much in silence, trying to look strong for everyone else. While your own heart has been tired, you have smiled through storms, held yourself together when no one checked on you, and fought private battles behind closed doors. You felt like nobody saw you, but God did. He saw the nights you cried without making a sound. He saw the moments you forced yourself to keep going. When your soul begged for rest, He saw every hurt you tried to bury, every fear you hid, every prayer you whispered. Hoping heaven heard you, and heaven did. You have spent years thinking you were just coping, just handling life, just doing what you had to do. But the truth is infinitely deeper. You have no idea who you really are. What you thought was resilience was actually divine reinforcement. What you thought was your intuition was actually spiritual discernment. What you thought was your strength was actually the hand of God carrying you through places your feet couldn't stand on their own. Chosen one. Your spirit has been active, even when your body was tired. You have been fighting unseen battles, interceding without knowing it, protecting people without understanding why you felt their pain. You have been spiritually awake, long before your mind could comprehend the depth of your calling. That is why your heart feels things before they happen. That is why people confide in you without knowing why. That is why you walk into a room and feel the atmosphere shift. Heaven has been whispering over you for years. If they only knew how much is inside of them. If they only knew why darkness feared them. If they only knew the magnitude of their calling. And today, right now, is the moment. God stops whispering and starts revealing. You aren't just watching a video. You are being awakened. Chosen one. Let me tell you something that will finally make sense of years of exhaustion, confusion, and emotional weight you could never explain. Your body has been tired because your spirit has been working overtime, even when you didn't understand what you were sensing. Your spirit knew exactly what was happening around you. Your spirit has been standing guard, praying, interceding, shielding, and discerning, long before you even had the language to describe it. That is why you have days when your body feels drained, even though you didn't do much. That is why your energy suddenly drops around certain people. That is why you feel heaviness without a reason. It is not weakness. It is spiritual activity. There were nights when you lay awake, unable to sleep, staring at the ceiling, feeling something in the atmosphere, but not knowing what it was. That wasn't anxiety. It was your spirit picking up spiritual tension. There were moments when you suddenly felt the need to pray, even if you didn't know what for. That wasn't coincidence. It was your spirit responding to something Heaven showed you before your mind caught up. There were times when you felt overwhelmed, but the moment you cried out to God, peace rushed in like a flood. That wasn't temporary relief. It was your spirit reconnecting with its source. See, the reason you have always felt different is because you are, while others live only through their physical senses. You have been living with spiritual awareness since childhood. You could always read the room. You knew when someone wasn't genuine. You sensed danger before it appeared. You felt when someone was hurting, even if they smiled. You are not imagining it. Your spirit has been spiritually trained, sharpened and strengthened through every battle you survived. You have been carrying things others never had to carry. You have been lifting spiritual weight others didn't even notice existed. And because of that, your battles have always felt heavier. Your struggles lasted longer. Your heartbreaks cut deeper, and yet you endured anyway. Not because your flesh was strong, but because your spirit refused to break. God put a warrior inside you, a watchman, an intercessor, a protector. You don't just live life, you guard it, discern it, feel it, and walk through it with a depth most people will never understand. And now heaven is revealing the truth. Your spirit has been carrying you. Even on the days you couldn't carry yourself, your exhaustion was never a sign of defeat. It was evidence of your spiritual strength. Chosen one, here is a truth that will finally explain the strange heaviness you have carried your whole life. Not every battle you fought belonged to you. There are burdens you felt that didn't originate from your own life. There were sudden waves of sadness that weren't tied to anything you were going through. There were moments when fear hit you out of nowhere. Even when everything around you was calm, you weren't going crazy. Your spirit was stepping into battles long before they manifested. You were sensing warfare that had nothing to do with your personal situation, but everything to do with the people connected to you. See, your spirit is sensitive because it was designed to be. You have always known things before they happened. You have always sensed people's intentions before they revealed themselves. You have always felt the shift in a room before anyone else noticed it. That wasn't paranoia. That was spiritual discernment. And because of this gift, God often positioned you as a shield in places where others were vulnerable. Your presence alone has blocked attacks from reaching people who had no idea danger was even near. You have stood between your family and generational destruction. You have prayed storms away from people who didn't even believe in prayer. You have protected hearts you didn't receive protection from. The enemy targeted you because taking you out would have exposed everyone. You unknowingly covered. Your spirit has been absorbing spiritual pressure that would have crushed others. That is why the anxiety you felt didn't match your life. That is why the heaviness came without reason. That is why you felt drained, even when nothing was wrong. You were spiritually interceding, spiritually intercepting, spiritually fighting battles that heaven entrusted to you. Because God knew He could rely on you. You have carried the weight of people's unspoken pain. You have felt the grief of loved ones before they told you the story. You have sensed betrayal before the knife touched your back. You have picked up the spiritual cry of someone miles away and didn't know why your heart felt broken at midnight. You weren't imagining those things. Your spirit was doing what it was created to do. Stand in the gap and listen carefully. The enemy didn't attack you because of who you were in the natural. He attacked you because of who you are in the spirit. Your prayers disrupt darkness. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Your spirit carries authority. Hell is terrified of. This is why your life has felt like a battlefield. You were fighting for more than just yourself. Chosen one. Take a deep breath and really hear this. You survived. Things that should have shattered you. You walked through seasons that would have left the average person in pieces. You endured heartbreaks that could have closed your heart forever. You faced betrayals that should have made you bitter. You stood in storms that had the power to drown your faith. And yet here you are, not only standing, but growing, awakening and rising. You didn't just make it through. You transformed in the fire. The pain that tried to bury you became the soil where God planted your strength. Think back for a moment. Remember the seasons when you felt like you were suffocating emotionally, when the weight on your chest felt unbearable, when you wondered if you would ever smile again. You didn't just survive those moments, you evolved in them. Every tear watered a new layer of resilience inside you. Every disappointment carved out a deeper well for wisdom. Every betrayal taught you who you were and who you were not. The people who broke you actually pushed you closer to God, even when you couldn't see it at the time. You have been lied about, misunderstood, excluded, abandoned, judged, overlooked, and in some cases, flat out mistreated by people you would have protected with your life, and yet none of it destroyed you. In fact, every act of cruelty became a stepping stone into greater strength. What the enemy meant to wound you, God used to awaken you. What was designed to silence, you actually refined your voice. The relationships that collapsed were necessary for your spiritual growth. God didn't allow certain people to stay because they could not go where He is taking you next. And here is the truth you rarely admit. Some of the storms you survived felt too big for you at the time. You didn't know how you would get through them. You didn't feel strong enough. You didn't feel ready. You didn't even feel spiritual. Some days you were just trying to breathe, but heaven was fighting for you when you couldn't fight for yourself. Angels were guarding you when you thought no one cared. God was covering you, even when you questioned if He was listening. You didn't survive because you are tough. You survived because you are chosen. You didn't break because breaking you would have interfered with the destiny that God Himself wrote. Every scar you carry is proof of a battle you won. Every wound that healed is evidence that nothing sent against you worked. You didn't just make it. You were held, chosen one. Listen carefully, because this part is going to reach places inside you that you have never been able to put into words. You have spent years believing that the version of you shaped by hardship, disappointment, trauma, and survival was the real you. But that was never who you truly were. That was who you became while trying to protect your heart. The guarded you, the silent you, the strong but exhausted you, the overthinking you, the isolated you. Those were not your true identities. Those were survival identities. Those were temporary versions your spirit stepped into, so you could make it through seasons that were trying to break you. But now heaven is saying that season is over. That version of you has served its purpose. Now it is time to meet the real you. You are not the pain you endured. You are the purpose God placed inside you. You are not the wounds people left. You are the healing God promised. You are not the rejection that scarred you. You are the acceptance of heaven that covers you. For too long, you have looked at yourself through the lens of what happened to you, instead of through the eyes of the one who created you. You have labeled yourself with names life gave you: broken, alone, not enough, too much, unseen, used, forgotten. But heaven has a different vocabulary for you: chosen, anointed, protected, set apart, redeemed, strengthened, appointed. Other people only saw the temporary version of you, the version that walked with a limp, the version that carried wounds, the version that stayed quiet to avoid conflict, the version that hid its light to keep others comfortable. They judged you based on the chapter God was healing, not the story he was writing. They saw your scars, but not your calling. They heard your silence, but not your prayers. They misunderstood your isolation, not realizing it was actually divine separation. They thought you were weak, not knowing God was rebuilding you from the inside out. God is lifting the weight of every false identity off of you. The anger, that wasn't you. The numbness, not you. The distrust, not you. The fear, not you. Those were reactions, human responses to spiritual battles. They were the temporary armor you wore in seasons when you didn't feel protected. But now God is restoring the heart behind the armor. He is peeling back the layers of survival and revealing the identity he always placed inside you. Because who you really are is someone heaven recognizes, even when the world doesn't. You are chosen, and now your true identity is awakening. Chosen one step into this moment with your whole heart. Because what I am about to tell you is not just encouragement, it is revelation. You are entering a divine season where God is pulling back every layer that life forced over your identity. For years you have seen yourself through fogged-up glass, uncertain, unsure, unaware of the greatness resting inside you. But now heaven is clearing your vision. God is about to reveal the real you, the you that has always been there, beneath the weight, beneath the pain, beneath the history, beneath the expectations of others. This next chapter of your life isn't about becoming someone new. It is about remembering someone ancient, someone God designed before time began. The real you is stronger than the storms you faced. The real you carries wisdom you didn't study for. The real you is spiritually sharp, discerning, and deeply connected to heaven. The real you is compassionate without being drained, bold without being harsh, loving without losing boundaries, humble without being hidden. God is waking up. The you that trauma dimmed and disappointment silenced. He is calling forth the version of you that hell hoped you would never discover. Because once you know who you truly are, darkness loses its leverage over you. This is why you have been feeling shifted lately. Why certain things no longer interest you. Why you have been losing tolerance for drama, negativity, and shallow connections. Why your spirit has been craving peace, depth, truth, and stillness. That is the real you resurfacing. That is your soul returning to alignment. God is separating you from anything that damages your identity and attaching you to everything that activates your purpose. This is not loss. It is pruning. This is not isolation. It is preparation. This is not emptiness. It is repositioning. And hear this, God is about to reveal gifts inside you that you never knew were there. Clarity is coming. Spiritual authority is rising. Your intuition is sharpening. Your peace is strengthening. Your sensitivity to the Holy Spirit is increasing. Doors will open that you didn't knock on. Opportunities will find you that you didn't chase. People will be drawn to the light in you without fully understanding why. You will begin to see yourself the way heaven has always seen you. Chosen, capable, worthy, assigned, covered. The real you is emerging. And once this unveiling begins, you will never again shrink yourself to fit into the spaces. God called you to rise above. This is your season of spiritual revealing. Your divine identity is stepping into the light. Chosen one. As you take in everything spoken over your spirit today, I want you to pause and recognize something sacred. This moment is not random. This is not just another video. This is not background noise. This is a divine appointment. Heaven has been preparing you for this unveiling. And now the Spirit of God is releasing a prophetic declaration over your life. So, whether you lift your hands, close your eyes, or simply let these words settle into your soul, receive this with the fullness of your spirit. You have walked through too much, endured too much, prayed too hard, and survived too many seasons of silence for this moment not to mean something. God is not just comforting you. He is declaring identity over you. In the mighty name of Jesus, I declare that every hidden strength inside you is rising to the surface. What once felt dormant will become active. What once felt unclear will become illuminated. Every spiritual gift that has been locked inside you, discernment, wisdom, authority, peace, compassion, boldness, will awaken in full measure. I declare that the weight you have been carrying, the heaviness that is sat on your shoulders for years, is breaking off your spirit right now. You are stepping into freedom that will feel like breathing for the first time. Freedom from old wounds, old fears, old identities, old expectations. I declare that every generational burden you carried, knowingly or unknowingly, is being lifted by the hand of God. Cycles that ran in your family will stop with you. Patterns that robbed others will not touch your life. Attacks that were meant to break you will turn into testimonies that elevate you. I declare that every blessing with your name on it, every open door, every divine connection, every breakthrough, every opportunity, every answered prayer will find you effortlessly and clearly. You will not miss what God has ordained. You will not lose what God has sealed. Chosen one. This is the season where your identity aligns with your destiny. You will walk differently. You will speak differently. You will think differently. Not because you are trying to improve yourself, but because your spirit is awakening to who you truly are. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, anointed, assigned, and covered by God Himself. If this message touched your soul, stay connected. Subscribe to this channel, so these prophetic words continue guiding your journey. And if the Holy Spirit leads you, you can use Super Thanks or the donation link to support this ministry. Never required, always appreciated. God bless you, chosen one. Your true identity is rising, and heaven is celebrating you.